Hey team, Major Foe here. Turn 13, July 1942 for USA. We'll start off with our 7 tech rolls. First we'll do advanced artillery, 7 or above. There's a 12. That moves to stage 3. Next is heavy bombers, 9 or above. That's a 1. That doesn't succeed. Strategic rockets, 9 or above. Well, there's a 9. That goes to stage 3. Radar, 7 or above. Yet again, another 1. Improved factories, 7 or above. There's a 7. That moves to stage 3. Heavy battleships, 7 or above. There's a 10. That moves to stage 3. And attack transports, 8 or above. And yet again, another 1. Well, at least they're epic fails or epic successes. We'll move to our buys. So for $85, America's going to spend $3 to roll for Mexico. Advance the fast battleship, the fast carrier, the fleet carrier, and we'll step down a light carrier. We'll also put a fleet carrier in stage 3. We're going to lend lease a medium armor to Russia and a medium bomber to the UK. 1 American destroyer, 2 Marines, 2 jet fighters, and America's going to buy a medium bomber as well. We'll move on to our roll for Mexico. This time we'll need a 4 or above as the sub right at the Rio, New York line. So $3 plus 1 should be a 4 or below. And we get a 3. So Mexico flips to America. So America gets a destroyer. A fighter. A cavalry. And an infantry. Okay. Now America goes up $1 more for Mexico. So that'll move them to 64. Okay. Combat movements. We'll start over here on the west coast. We'll take the 2 U.S. Marine Corps from San Francisco on the transport and land those 2 in Alaska. Fast battleship will join for naval bombardment. These 2 TAC bombers will come off of Cap and head back to the Army in 79. Medium bomber is going to join the attack in Alaska. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7. Long range aircraft and an airfield, movement of 7. They'll land back in the Pacific Northwest. We have 5 infantry, 3 from Pacific Northwest and 2 from the upper Midwest will move into British Columbia. And they will be joined by the 2 fighters out of the 79th. So they'll go 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that leaves the jet fighter, 2 tactical bombers, a light tank, 2 Marines, and 2 militia in San Francisco. That's on the west coast. Also, they'll be raiding again in 54, and the 3 subs will be raiding again in 55. On the East Coast, this destroyer will come off of escort duty in C Zone 32 and move 1, 2, 3, and go on escort duty in C Zone 105. The sub on escort duty in 24 will move 1, 2, 3, and go on escort duty in 21. And that is all of the non-combat, combat movements on the East Coast. We'll start with the subs in 55. So black dice is America, red dice is Japan. 6 plus 6, 6 plus 2 is 8, minus 6 is 2. So the first sub does 2 damage. The max we can do on this line is 4, as we've already taken 1 off below. Roll again for the second sub. 6 plus 2 is 8, minus 3 is 5, so this one gets maxed out at 4. So there's 4 damage on that one. Move over to the first sub in 54. 5 plus 2 is 7, minus 6 is 1. So the first sub does 1 damage. Second sub. 3 plus 2 is 5, minus 5 is 0. Nothing on that sub. Last sub. 4 plus 2 is 6, minus 3 is 3. So this one gets 4 damage total. So 4 here and 4 here, that's 8 off of the Japanese income. Okay. Now, some dice. So fast battleship shore bombardment is at 4 or less. So we'll start with that. You see a 4 here. 8, that's a miss. Medium bombers at a 7. That's a miss. And the 2 U.S. Marines going into mountains are 3 minus 1 is 2. So we have 2 at 2. One hit. So that takes care of the militia, and the militia fires back at a 2. 1 hit. So I'll lose a U.S. Marine. Japan goes down $1. America goes up $1. $65, and they go to 42. Okay, and our next attack is 2 fighters at 6. 1 hit, and that'll do it. And then militia at a 2 for return fire. 10, that's a miss. So the militia is killed. Japan goes down $1, and the UK goes up $1. 41 and 27. I believe that's all of our combat movements. We'll move into non-combat. So the medium bomber, 1, 2, 3 returns. The 2 fighters will return. 5 destroyers will move 1, 2 to join the battleship and transport. 2 subs with the shipyard can move 2, so they'll move 1, 2. 2 coastal subs in Sea Zone 103 can move 1, they'll move into Sea Zone 64. One militia will move to the western states. 1 infantry will move to Pacific Northwest. That's all on the west coast. On the east coast, 2 infantry at Rio will board the transport and move 1, 2, 3 with a major port and land in Gibraltar. I've already reached out to the veteran about moving the 2 ships. One has 1 movement, one has 2 movement with the major port, giving them 2 and 3 movement. We'll move 1, 2 and join the transport in Sea Zone 79. The veteran remains his subs submerged. The destroyer out of Sea Zone 71 will move from into 72, into 43, and into 30. The 7th Fleet minus 2 heavy cruisers will move to Sea Zone 30, joining the destroyer. The 2 heavy cruisers, oops, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 with the major port, and they'll join the rest of the fleet down in 79. The fighter will move 1, 2, 3, 4 and land on the carrier. I'll rail. Well, that says it's an infantry. I'll have to double check that. I'm not sure if it's a militia or an infantry, just because of the base. That's probably an infantry. I'll rail the cavalry and infantry into New York. I believe that is all the movements for non-combat. Just take another look around. We're good there. Now we'll move on to place units. So the British bomber will go in Ottawa. The medium armor will join the other medium armor. So there's no Japanese interdiction along this route. So from here. So that'll end up in Rimouski Croy. I probably said that wrong. Medium bomber will end up in Rio. The 2 jet fighters will end up in New York. The 2 Marines will also end up in New York. I'll change that out for a task marker later. Yep. And the destroyer will join the 7th Fleet. Okay, we'll go to our wartime increase. Six. Okay, so we have 65 plus 6 is 71. And then our bonus for owning all of continental home country US is $12. So 71 plus 12 is 83. 43. And then as the next term will be January of 43, I've already gone ahead and put the neutrals on the board, as most of the neutrals have already been taken. There's a light tank added to Gotland here in Sweden. That concludes my turn for USA July 1942. Looking forward to the veteran for January 1943. Thanks again for watching, folks.